So yeah, I think you know, we had a good meeting with the state officials the other day in terms of facilitating this project further and continuing on for the training. And again, people throughout the state are looking at this project to see what we can put together to really come up with a replicable program for years to come. So I'm looking forward to moving forward on the strategic plan process.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Adam. And I'm not sure whether it was because someone else signed on, but there was a small disruption in the voice, for me at least, a short time ago. I don't know if it happened to anyone else.
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay, Joe Black has signed on now. Welcome, Joe. And thank you, Tanner, and thank you, Adam. To get started, I just wanted to do a brief review of the progress that we made at the September 9th meeting. And for those of you who were there, I want to again thank you for all your input. I noticed that once we really got started there, we moved along pretty well, and we were able to complete a vision statement, a mission statement, and go through all the values. And that was great progress for that meeting. Now we're ready to go on to goal setting. And if we get totally through that this morning, we'll go on to the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats and strategies. But the more progress we can make, the better. So the agenda today, everybody should have gotten a copy of that, will be to review and approve the mission and value statements we came up with at the last meeting, then go on to goal setting, and as I said, if there's time to get through the SWOTs, the strategies, and then talk about the next steps. Does anybody have any comments so far on any of that, or is everybody okay with that?
Okay. Yep, I'm fine. It looks like Kim had a question.
No, I was clapping.
Oh, okay, that doesn't
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, let's go right on to the first, and that's the vision statement that we came up with last time. And that is, and I put it on the screen for those of you who can see it. And for those of you who are not on the internet, you have a copy that was sent out of all of this. And the vision statement states that California has an established community service system that is accessible to and utilized by American Indians with disabilities. And again, this is the ultimate outcome we want to see from the strategic plan. I'm sorry, who was talking there? Somebody was saying something.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Hi all. This is Kim. I'm wondering. I had to step away at the very beginning. Did everyone put their phones on mute? Who aren't speaking right now? That would be a great thing.
Oh, okay.
Or somehow turn it off. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody have a comment on the vision statement? Or are we all okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. And we can, use for those, we can't do it with the telephone people, I guess, but with the people online, if you want to use the little voting feature up in the left-hand corner where it has the little green check and the red X. The green check, of course, means approve, and the red X means not approve. So I don't know if it's worth it going through that since everybody isn't online, but if everybody is fine with that, then we'll go into the next one. But if anybody has any comments, now's the time to get them out.
Nope, I think it's fine.
Okay, I'm not hearing any, so let's go on to the mission. And I'm doing this in not the most efficient way, but it's the way that seems to work the most reliably, so there's a little bit of a pause to bringing these up. And our mission statement that we came up with at the September 9th meeting is as follows. Our mission is to develop and distribute accessible, culturally appropriate materials and action plans to the independent living services agencies and similar organizations serving American Indians in California. Anybody have any comments on that, or are we okay with that?
Yeah, I have some comments. This is David. I'm trying to read it and talking with the phone at the same time. It's kind of hard. So I'm laying on my desk. I'm glad you don't have a camera on me. The mission is to develop and distribute accessible, culturally appropriate materials and action plans. So within those action plans, are there dollars? You know, are we gonna assign dollar figures to each one of these? You know, because what we're doing is just developing a strategic plan, correct?
Right.
And they didn't give you any money to actually carry this out. Or
when we get through the planning process, after we've set our goals, we will go into the actual action steps that are required for those goals.
Yeah, I spoke with Peter Harsh yesterday. He came to our office, and he was doing field work, I guess. They all were amazed how long it took to get to my office.
Mm-hmm.
And so, at any rate, we were talking, and I've spoken with Tanner at various times before there was even a contract, and now you guys have the contract to develop the strategic plan. Something about utilizing the existing frameworks that are there, not just independent living centers, but also the California Living Health Board system.
Uh-huh.
And Peter, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was reflected in the minutes, but he talked about, well, why can't we provide training dollars to the CHRs, which are community health representatives, which actually go out and meet with people in their homes within the community.
Uh-huh.
And so if we put independent living services delivery, at least the information to hook the person in need of the services together with the existing N.A.I.L. fees, and something to that effect. But we need training dollars in there, and so that's all I wanted to insert. And I don't know if this is the appropriate place or not. And so that's up to you guys. I just wanted to.
Well, there is no inappropriate place for that, David. And what I can say is we will do our best to come up with not only the dollars required, but many other resources that are required as part of the plan. But in terms of actually having the money or the other resources available to implement it, that I can't speak to at this point.
Yeah. Well, I thought that would be part of the mission to help secure or something, the funding to carry out this plan.
Well, I think that will come up when we get to the goal-setting part.
All righty. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments?
This is Tanner, and David, to kind of comment on what you just said, kind of like during my little presentation to the Silk up in Eureka, I believe a couple of the Silk members kind of asked that question, or one of them, once this plan was developed, was there going to be any funds available to actually help the ILCs implement them? And those funds are not going to come, obviously, from our agency. Again, we have this group of statewide representatives that are helping to develop a plan, but also kind of like I mentioned at the Silk meeting, each of our ILCs, the 29 ILCs, we all are required to do diversity plans. So, as an example, once there's a training curriculum and a plan that's available, to outreach to, Native American tribal communities and stuff, then, it would be up to the ILCs basically to, to implement them. Also, though, on the other side of that, after the Silk meeting, I did speak with a couple of other people, in DOR and funding sources, and they are looking for extra funds, for this particular purpose, for the ILCs to apply for funds to be able to do it. So, again, also the other part that I mentioned at the Silk, and in a note afterwards, I believe, to Liz, it's the tribes have been around, forever, so it's not like this is a new group of people that just recently moved into the communities. They've been in the ILC areas, long before the ILCs were even established. So again, these groups are already in these areas. So this is at least going to be a plan, for to help them begin outreach. And what you just mentioned also about, Peter's comment, I know Peter talked to me again also at Pinoleville's Disability Awareness event last week, and again about going and helping train or doing training to, the tribal CHRs, and stuff, and training them to provide services. Again, I don't know right now, like where that funding source would come from, but that is certainly, a great idea. So.
Well, Tanner, this is Yale, and I have two thoughts about that. One is the plan itself should be very supportive of any grant request that any of the ILCs would want to make for funding from whatever source.
Right.
And the second is, I think part of the purpose of having an ongoing advisory council, I would think, would be to help with generating the funds to implement the plan. Is that correct?
I would hope so.
Okay.
This is Adam. Let me just add.
Oh,
every
that said, then, are there any other comments?
Yeah. This is Adam. Every independent living center has an outreach, has a diversity plan, an outreach plan. So in many ways, this plan, what we achieve here in terms of a strategic plan is just to aid and facilitate efforts that are already being made. I don't know that funding is going to be, we're asking the centers and other similar agencies to necessarily do a lot more in terms of allocation of funding, but really to hone what they're doing and make them more effective. So I'm not really sure that there's a big need for additional funding in this area, just a better way of doing things.
Any other comments on that? Yep. Someone was speaking. Okay. Shall we go on to the values? Are we done with the mission? Or were there further comments?
Yeah, I think we're done with the mission as far as I'm concerned, but I was a little concerned about Adam's comment about not needing more money. But we can discuss that later. Thank you.
Okay.